Hello, this is Cathy Cassidy, and I haven't vlogged for quite a long time. Been a busy summer and quite a busy autumn as well. But I thought now that it's December, it would be really nice just to bring Sunday Book Club back to give you some of my favourite books that might be cool gifts for Christmas or just cool things for you to buy to read around Christmas. And these are kind of books that cover all of the age groups, all of the interests. So I'll do a wee blog each Sunday running up to Christmas. And it's helping me to get in a Christmas mood. And today I've actually been mixing up and preparing Christmas cake. So the whole house smells of stewed fruit and, I don't know, brandy and orange peel and lemon juice. It smells amazing, and it's really starting to get me in that Christmas frame of mind. And I know that I'm a little bit late making a Christmas cake, but probably later than you think, because it's actually the first time in my whole entire life that I've ever made a Christmas cake. So it's just cooling now and ready to be poured into the tin and ready to go in the oven. I'll let you know next time how it turns out. But anyway, let's get onto the books. I have, first of all, a couple of children's books for you. And I just wanted to say there's 4 books I want to talk about today, and 3 out of the 4 books all come from my local library, which, as you might know, I've mentioned it before in past Sunday book clubs, has been under threat of being moved or closed. And I'm so glad that that isn't likely to be happening at the moment. So Conwy Council, thank you for listening. Please keep listening. We love our library so much, and it has the most amazing books. The first one that I picked off the shelf is Horseboy, which is by one of my favourite authors, Tanya Landman. She is fantastic at weaving a simple but really cool tale around situations from the past that are full of excitement and drama and intrigue. And Horseboy, it really goes into the past. It goes right the way back to kind of, prehistoric times, really, when people were just learning to gather in tribes and learning how that, they're living their lives in very different ways than we did. And it's really about a boy who learns to befriend and get to know a horse. And it's about how these two species come together, how man and horse learn to trust and allow themselves to rely on each other. It's also the most fantastic adventure. I'd say it's middle grade. So, if you have a sort of 8 to 12-year-old, 8 to 13-year-old to buy for this Christmas who might like a past story, you're going to really enjoy that, or they might really enjoy that. I would also say, though, adults can read it too. And when I got to the end of this story, I was just blown away. Yes, it's a great adventure. Yes, it's dramatic, but there is something at the end of it where you just think, oh, wow, it made you think really deeply about humanity and, how we behave and what we do. And I just, I hope maybe some adults will read it too, and maybe will understand what I mean. So that's Horseboy, Tanya Landman. The next book is also a children's book, and it's called Once Upon a Tune, and it is illustrated and written by James Mayhew, who is one of my very favourite illustrators. He writes, and well, he illustrates so beautifully. So I'll show you the cover of the book. Once Upon a Tune is a collection of stories based on stories from the orchestra, I guess. So if I have a look, I can read you out the stories that are included in the book. In the Hall of the Mountain King, Scheherazade, The Flight of the Bumblebee, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, The Swan of Tuonela, I don't know how to say that, William Tell. So anybody who really loves their classical music or orchestra or anything like that is really especially going to love this book. But I'm just going to come right out, full disclosure, I am not really somebody who understands or loves music from the orchestra at all. but I love this book. It is just so beautiful. I'll show you a couple of James's illustrations. He just has a way of bringing everything so much to life. It's a lovely large format book, lovely hardback. It would make the most stunning Christmas present for somebody who loves stories, fairy stories, but perhaps already has a lot of fairy story books, or just anybody who really loves beautiful, beautiful, out of this world illustration. So Once Upon a Tune, put that on your Christmas list or Christmas to buy list as well. I'm going to finish off with, well, I'm not finished off yet, but number 3 is an adult book. It's called Bewilderment, and it's by Richard Powers. And I'd never read this author before. It's an American author. I was a little bit intrigued by the cover, which, if you can see, it's a profile of a boy's face. And inside that face, inside that profile, there are images of birds and nature and water and so on. And I found that quite intriguing. And also it says on the cover, from the winner of the Pulitzer Prize, which is obviously a really, really impressive prize in America. But since reading this, I've found out, I believe this is shortlisted, or I think it's shortlisted for this year's Booker, so, or next year's Booker would it be? But it's the most beautiful and absolutely gripping story. It's unlike anything else you will have read, and it is all about difference and how somebody can be so different and find it really, really hard to fit in, and how we try very hard to make those people fit in, and how sometimes that just isn't really, you know, the way that we need to look at those things. It's also about, you know, astronomy. It's about the stars. It's about thinking about other places to live, other planets, other constellations and solar systems and so on. It's a book that will make you think. It will make you think again, and then it will blow your mind. It's also very sad. It's also very beautiful. I cannot recommend it enough. This is why I love libraries, because you go in, you don't really know what you're particularly looking for. Sometimes you find a book like this and it changes everything. You know, I feel so much better for reading this book. It is the most amazing thing. I totally recommend it. And yes, a brand new author for me. I'm going to now go back and read everything else that Richard Powers has written. So yeah. And I think I was saying that, you know, those next 2 books are for adults, but actually the last book I wanted to talk about, it's this one. It's called The Bird Within Me. Very, very beautiful cover that drew me to this book. Again, it's a hardback, would make the most beautiful and stunning Christmas present. And it's by Sarah Lundberg, and it is the story of the childhood of a Swedish artist called Berta Hansson. And we have a lot of books at the moment about women who have achieved things in their lives against the odds, perhaps. But Berta is one artist that I had never heard of and did not know her story. And this book is filled with beautiful, beautiful illustrations of Berta's childhood. It's inspired by her paintings, her letters and her diaries, and it tells the story of her childhood, her upbringing at the very start of the 20th century, when nobody seemed to really understand her, when she felt that she didn't fit in, when she loved so much, more than anything else, drawing. And when she was asked to draw carrots at school, for example, she got told off because she drew the beautiful wonkiness and, you know, the colours and the shapes of the carrots that grew in the garden of their farm at home, and got told off for it because they weren't carrot-shaped, whatever that is. It's also very sad because Berta's mum was very poorly during her childhood. But gradually, in spite of being teased and laughed at by her fellow students, she begins to grow in confidence, and she begins to trust that perhaps she could do something with her art. This is, I just have to show you, this is possibly my favourite spread in the story, where Berta goes out to the woods when something sad is happening at home, and a moose comes and just moves up and communicates with her a little bit and makes her feel a little better. But it is so packed full of the most adorable, beautiful and powerful paintings that I think you'll just love them. And finally she finds someone who supports her love of art. And then I'm just going to show you at the very end, there's a picture of Berta in her adult life, and finally got to go to Paris and pursue her career. Sarah Lundberg's The Bird Within Me, absolutely, you know, it's a short read, very simple read, but I would say, yeah, maybe children could enjoy it, but this is for adults who love art, who love illustration, who want something special, something magical. And if you know a painter, an artist, an illustrator, or somebody who struggles to be taken seriously, perhaps a teenager who dreams of doing something but not everybody understands, this would just be the most magical Christmas present. So that is my 4 picks for today. It's lovely to be back. I hope all of you are okay and managing in these still strange times. How long are the strange times going to go on for? Quite a while, I'm, you know, wondering. But hey, I will see you next week. I'm just going to have my coffee and go and check on that Christmas cake. Take care, and I will see you soon.